Hello, St. Mark family. It's Pastor John coming from the Worship Center. There's a few things I'd really like to take a minute or two to talk to you about. As a matter of fact, I'd like to begin by going back to March, middle of March of this year, when the pandemic really began to affect and impact us as a congregation. There were two words that I used at the time that I told you that I really believe was going to help us get through whatever it was we were going to face. Those two words were flexible and faithful. And I want to thank you for your faithfulness. All of you have been so faithful, gracious, helpful during these last 8 months. Many of you have also been very flexible. You've been willing to bend. You've been willing to adapt and improvise where we needed to. Many of you are aware that our governor here in the state of Indiana came out with a news conference telling us what many of us were aware of, and that is that the pandemic numbers are increasing in our state. We've known that they're increasing here in St. Joe County particularly, and whether you know it or not, our impact by coronavirus has been felt here in the local church as well. We've had a number of people, families, and many, many more that have been quarantined because they've been exposed by it. This has impacted some of our volunteers and our ability to do ministry. So the governor has shared with us, and again, you've heard this, but healthcare workers and healthcare services in our own county are right now pushed to the limit. So the governor has come out, and because we are at stage orange in our county, has requested that groups of 50 or more not meet in person. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking automatically, well, churches are exempt, and you're right. The governor made that very clear. But let me remind you that we here at St. Mark have acted conservatively in the past. We set aside some of our rights, quote unquote, to meet as a church in order to help the community in which we live as best we can. So we limited ourselves to the number of people that could gather in a theater, for instance. So that was a self-imposed thing. I want to tell you that we're going to continue to be conservative in how we operate. Decision has been made that because we're at stage orange, because 50 is the number that the county is asking us to limit ourselves to, we are taking some steps that will begin immediately as of this Sunday. So here's the things that I want you to know. Number one, our Sunday services will move to live streaming only beginning this Sunday. Normally we live stream at 10:30. We're going to continue to do that. But this Sunday, beginning this Sunday, and for at least the next 4 weeks, we will not have an in-person service here. We will live stream only. So that's going to be available for you to watch and to participate in from the comfort of your own home. Secondly, I want you to be aware that our Thursday night service, because it doesn't meet the threshold of 50 at this point, will for the time being continue to go live. So we have this Thursday night, the night that I'm recording this, as well as next Thursday, where we're planning to meet normally. The following Thursday, if you look at the calendar, is Thanksgiving. We'll take that Thursday off, but we intend to come back after Thanksgiving with live Thursday night services. The third thing you need to be aware of is that small group ministry continues to be vital, especially during times when we can't gather in larger groups. So other than Sunday mornings, if you meet in a small group, it's going to be up to your leader and up to the safety of the group. But we're hoping that many small groups in proper settings where distancing and masks can be worn will continue to meet a very, very vital need in people's lives. Fellowship, the opportunity to meet with one another is actually a biblical concept. Now, I've heard leaders talk about when we get in a position like this, especially in the church, we find ourselves what many describe as a no-win situation. I've been thinking about that for the last 24 hours or so, and I want to tell you that I think it's important for us all to redefine what a win is right now. And as I've thought through the things that have been happening in recent days, recent weeks, recent months, we have been winning. And let me just throw a couple of things out to you. We have, I believe, won in the sense that we have limited the number of people that have come into contact with COVID-19. We've kept people as safe as we possibly could. In a sense, that's a win. And that win is going to continue on as we take the steps I just outlined. In addition to that, we've continued to try to provide opportunities for people, even when we had to shut down, even when we had to create online services, recorded and then streaming later on. We've provided fellowship opportunities for people, and we're going to continue to do that. And in addition to that, a win is supporting our community. And I do believe we need to be considerate of our community, our healthcare workers, and those that are on the front lines right now of a very difficult situation. And finally, I think a win is also the fact that we've ministered to believers during this time. To those of you that know Jesus Christ as your Savior, I thank you for supporting one another and for helping each other during this time. And I just want to encourage you to continue to do that. These are all wins. And someday we're going to look back on this past and understand that the Lord has walked with us through this, and I believe He's going to continue to do so. So again, let me take it back to those two words. It's faithful and flexible. And as a part of the St. Mark family and friends, I'm going to challenge you. Be faithful, be flexible as we adapt and improvise to this new level of difficulty that we face. May the Lord bless you. I hope that you have a great day and a great week.